Hello, I'm recording this video to introduce new ideas of meditation to my friends and to just a new audience. I'm a college student, and this semester I was a research participant in a study on meditation and consciousness, and I was tasked with meditating every day for 6 weeks, and they had to scan my brain and stuff, and had to answer a bunch of questions. It was really cool. But before I get into that, I want to talk about what really meditation is. And meditation is the practice of basically clearing your mind. And I think that's really, really difficult for most people in this day and age to really comprehend and get a good idea of what that means. Because our lives, so many of our lives, are completely focused on how much can I get done in a day? How much can I learn? How much can I do? How much can I consume? Whether we realize it or not, every day we're distracting ourselves from any want or need to have a clear mind and a clear head. And I think it's something that everybody needs right now. And that's why I'm trying to talk about it. What does meditation look like in practice? Um, it's an internal practice. It's not external. You, in meditation, you're focusing on your internal worlds. Your eyes are closed, preferably you're in a quiet space, but you don't have to be, just to start off, just to practice. Because we're always so focused on the external world all the time that um, we forget that we have an internal world, and we never interact with our internal worlds. And often, when we are interacting with our internal world, when I say internal world, I'm talking about in our minds, the parts of ourself that nobody sees unless we choose to express it. Anyways, so many people, if they've ever tried meditation, and probably if you ever try it, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to close your eyes and you're going to be alone with your thoughts, and you're just going to get distracted, and you're going to start thinking, and and you're just going to follow a thought down a long chain of events, and all of a sudden you'll be distracted again. And meditation is the practice of continuously refocusing your attention onto something distinct uh, in your internal world. So there's a bunch of different types of meditation. There's some people like to focus on their breath. That's called breath work. Some people just like to breathe in and breathe out, and some people like to focus on their body and how their body is feeling. And some people like to repeat something called a mantra, which is where you are repeating a phrase, a meaningless phrase, over and over again. Uh, you don't have to be saying it out loud. You can be repeating it in your head. And it's a completely meaningless phrase. And it's just to give yourself something to do in your own head. And with all of these different things, what you're really doing is you're training your attention. You are training your attention span, and which is so important. Everything, every day in all of our lives is attention. How are we using our attention? How are we using our psychological energy? What are we doing every day? How are we acting? Who are we talking to? And what I'm trying to say is the act and practice of meditating is something that helps, something that can help everybody every day in every aspect of their life. Because what you are doing is you are training your attention and you are training your ability to focus and your ability to maintain intention with your attention. And that's what everybody needs in this day and age, is to retrain their attention spans. So now I'm going to talk about my experience because it changed my life. I came into contact with this professor in the College of Engineering, doing research on meditation and consciousness. Him and I clicked right away, and we became really good friends. I met him just in time to become a participant in his research study, and I'd learned and studied about different types of meditation before, but this was my first time really taking it seriously. And so there were a couple different study groups in the research study, and the study that I got placed into was a mantra meditation. And so I was repeating the same phrase over and over again. I had the choice to either say it out loud or to say it in my head. The entire time I chose to say it in my head. And I just want to talk real quick about what a mantra is. The whole point of a mantra is a pointless, meaningless phrase. Sometimes meaningless. Okay. You want to have a meaningless phrase so that you can be repeating it in your head, and you're not going to think of something else. That the mantra isn't going to remind you of something else. It's not going to make you think. It's not going to make you bring up memories. It's just going to be a random phrase. And but more advanced meditation, you'll be picking a mantra that's like that's positive and that really does mean something. I'm sure after you finish this video, you're going to be recommended, or you're going to be researching way more into different types of meditation and what a mantra really is. But and I'm not going to talk about the mantra that I had to repeat until the very end of the video. But anyways, I came into the study, they scanned my brain, I had to fill out a bunch of different questionnaires and diaries, both at the beginning and every day of the research study. And the first week was 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes a day. And so I closed my eyes and I did my thing, set a 5-minute timer, and I really couldn't get much progress. I really couldn't do it. Didn't feel the way I wanted it to feel. It didn't feel profound. It was pretty lame. It was just like, 5 minutes of, I couldn't, my mind was wandering, even though I was repeating the mantra. And that was a bit frustrating. And so week 1 was 5 minutes a day, and I didn't feel much. Week 2 was 10 minutes a day. And there were a couple days here where, I'd be sitting outside on a bench, and I thought, wow, I just get 10 minutes to myself right now. And this is kind of nice, And I just relaxed my brain, and I focused on the mantra, and I thought, wow, this isn't so bad. This is pretty peaceful. And around this time, I started having some really good days. And when I would have good days, the meditation would be really great and really feel goody. And when I had bad days, the meditation was a lot more difficult, and I wouldn't feel much after I meditated. Weeks 3 through 6, I was meditating 15 or more minutes a day. And that was when things really started to shift for not just my experience with the meditation, but my experience in everyday life. I'd usually go out to the same spots by the river and sit, and I loved when the sun was shining down on me. And I'd close my eyes, I'd set my 15, 20, 25-minute timer, and I'd sit with myself and I'd repeat this mantra. And you just go, when you practice this long enough and you do it for a long enough amount of time, it's like you're going into a completely different world. It's like you're dreaming, except you're awake and it's in real life and your mind is clear. It's like you're in your mother's womb again. And it's amazing. And it's difficult too. It's so difficult. It's not easy. It's not something you can try once and get the hang of, maybe. But if you struggle with sleeping, if your mind wanders a lot before you sleep, um, learning and practicing meditation is going to be a very similar type of practice to get learning how to put yourself to sleep at night. But meditation is not sleeping. And during these last 4 weeks of the study, I don't even know how to begin talking about the things that started happening. Like, every day, the meditation became a crucial part of my day. It became something that I looked forward to because I knew it was going to act as I knew it was going to be like putting my phone on the charger, you know? It was completely like resetting whatever was going on in my head, and and it was so beneficial. It helped me in every other aspect of every day of those weeks. And it became very exciting. It became even the I think I'm sure there were even days that I started meditating like multiple times a day, like whenever I felt like I needed it, because sometimes what we need most is a break. And I think we confuse taking breaks for different things. And um anyways, I think we doing this study made me realize how confused a lot of people are and how confused I was. And I think this experience just made me realize that uh there's better ways we can be spending our time day to day, and there's better ways I can be spending my time. I realized that I want to talk more and that I want to share more of my ideas with people, and here I am. And now now I'm going to bring up what the mantra was that I was repeating. And I wasn't supposed to know what the mantra meant, but I just happened to join this study after learning about what the mantra was, which was some grand magical coincidence in my life. The mantra that I was repeating was it it was an ancient Sanskrit phrase that people have been saying and using for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it is tied back to Eastern religion and Vedic literature. And I'm not, when I Googled it and when I searched for what it translates to, well, first I'm going to tell you what the entire mantra was. It is pretty long for a mantra. The mantra was Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I know, right? Super weird. Super weird if you've never heard of any of that before, you know? Um, I think if a lot of people had been I think if people had joined this study and were asked to repeat that phrase, they'd get really weirded out and scared. Um, but I tried it out, you know? And what this phrase roughly translates to in English is God, how may I serve you? Something along those lines. And uh, take whatever you want with that information. But all I'm gonna say is that the entire experience changed my life for the better in so many ways. And I am very fascinated with world religions. It's something I study and learn about, educate myself with very regularly. I'm friends with all sorts of people from different places and different religions and different backgrounds. And I think there's things we all have in common as human beings. And I think that there's so many different definitions of God. I think that God means something different to everybody. I think meditation means something different to everybody. I think religion means something different to everybody. But all I'm going to leave you with at the end of this video is that there is something that we all fundamentally have in common as human beings. And I think that that is our consciousness. And I do think that consciousness can vary. And I think consciousness can vary person to person, but meditation is how an individual human being can learn about their own consciousness. And I think that the more people conceptualize that for themselves and practice it and learn about it and study it, I think that they're going to find that a lot of things in their life are going to start coming together without them trying to force it, without them trying to be, without them forcing themselves and torturing themselves into doing whatever they think they have to do in their lives to achieve an outcome that they're searching for, whether they're searching for money or love or whatever, man. Meditation helps me in a lot of ways. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for listening. Spread love, spread joy, spread peace. Because the world needs it, and the people in your life need it. Thank you.